this is Sandy. This lesson we're going to concentrate on 2-point perspective. That means you're going to have a point where you might be looking left and a point where you might be looking right. When those converge, that's the center. So let's get started and have fun. Okay, we're going to make an old west town here. And it's you decide how far you're going to take it. I'm going to go up about 5 inches on my plate, my paper. I've got a mark there, and 5 inches, and I've got a mark there. Those are my vanishing points. Now, I'm going to draw lines. I'm going to try and draw them lightly. These are old buildings. I don't want to have a lot of detail in them. I just want them to be kind of fun to draw. We're going to start out by making a ray. I'm going to decide where my sidewalk is and where my street is. My street's probably right here, so I'm going to put it down like this. The steeper I go, the harder it is going to be to try and fit these in. So I'm not going to go too steep. A ray is a line that starts at a point and goes on and on and on. My line starts at a point and goes on. It pretty much ends where the paper ends. So I'm going to start by drawing that in. Now I'm going to go to the other side and I'm going to draw that one in. Okay, I drew it dark because I want you to be able to see it. Remember, all of these lines have to be erased. We are at street level. We're looking straight ahead. And I'm going to draw another line like this. And another one like this. And this is my sidewalk. Right here. It's where people walk. Okay, so where is my buildings going to sit? My buildings are probably going to sit back here. So I'm going to go up a little bit more and draw another set of rays. There. And there. Okay. I am going to be able to erase this. So if this were my sidewalk, or maybe that's the front of my street, we can decide there. Let's put our building right here. We're going to decide how tall our buildings are. We can make this building nice and tall. Let's make it 4 inches high. So I'm going down from the corner and of my first set of rays, and I'm making a line 4 inches. You decide how big your line has to be. We need the side of this building. So how long do we want our building to be? Let's make it about 2 inches. And we can measure that later. I've got my pencil on the vanishing point. There I go, and I'm just drawing it. I didn't finish it all the way. I didn't need to. I know my building's not going to be that long. I can come down here and I can measure 2 inches on this line. And I can measure 2 inches on this line. And I can put my right angle in there. And I can draw a line. Now, all of this can be erased. That's the side of our building. I'm not going to erase the end of the building. I'm going to leave that there for right now. All right, now we've got to find the front of our building. So I'm going to take it at the vanishing point, and I'm going to draw a line. There's the front of my building. I didn't draw it all the way again. Did you see that? But my buildings have, let's see, they have decorations on top. You know, the places you put your sign. So I'm going to go up a little bit, probably about there. I just extended that line. And I'm going to draw another line. Okay, that looks pretty good. We can do a lot with these lines, but let's decide how wide our building is going to be. Let's make this one 2 inches. And this one, I'm marking 2 inches top and bottom, so I know. But really, my right angle will tell me if I've got 2 inches down at the bottom. I'm going to have 2 inches up at the top. There's our first building. We can take all the way up because that's the sign, and we can decide that, maybe at 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch from this side. This building is going to have some decoration up there and a sign. You make the top of your buildings the way you want to. I'm just showing you other ways you can decorate things. That's kind of nice. We would have to have a sign on our building. So I'm using the left-hand vanishing point to give myself a sign. And then I'm going to use my right angle to come down here and draw the edge of the sign. And what would your building say? Maybe this is Joe's. So I'm going to use this inside as though it were a guide to tell me that these letters are going to get bigger as they get closer to me. Okay, we're all in perspective here. On the side of this, we might have a little bit of wood because we can't have a sign without some sort of support. And the same up here. I used this perspective here to find that top mark. And then I made it so that it was 3D. Okay. I like Joe's. Let's go on. Maybe this next building right here this is the actual front. Maybe halfway, 1.5 inches, that would make 3/4 of an inch is your halfway point. Your buildings might be a little bit different. Now, I can make this building have an arch like this. But he's just a little bit different. How am I going to find the side of that? I'm going to come over here to the other side, just go out a little bit, and then I'm going to just draw it in. There's the wood edge. Let's make this, and we got to get a sign for it, a bottom. Let's make this the jail. J A. Okay, let's talk about this. The important thing about these letters is they have to remain this way. Nice and perpendicular to the bottom of the page. Jail. That's our jail. Okay, we need to make another building. So let's make one more. I'm making one more. You can make more than one. And let's just make this one have a little wood thing up here that goes out that way. and out that way. Well, let's go out that way, both sides. He's just got a little bit of a cornice up there. So we're giving it a cornice, just like that. Okay? I don't know what kind of store we need, but we need something. And so I'm going to put a sign up here to tell me how big to make it. And I might make my sign say, I don't know, what should we say? Let's say hardware or fix-it shop. F I X I T. Okay, we've got a fix-it shop. That's a pretty neat street, but our buildings are kind of boring. A lot of times on these buildings, you will see a porch with a covering. We're going to make that here. We're going to decide we're going to come down to this point right here. And see how we've got to find the front of our building right here? And we're going to keep it on the sidewalk. I'm just going to put a dot there. And I'm going to put a dot on the other side. That's the front where we have our stands that are going to hold up our porch top. And I'm going to go up about 1.5 inches and draw a straight line. How else could I draw this straight line to make sure I got it straight? I could use my right angle. Just like that. But that 1.5 inches looks different than the 1.5 inches I just drew, and it is. Okay, that's the columns that hold up our awning. Okay, and I'm going to, it's not going to go all the way to the roof. I'm going to give it a spot here like that to connect to the building. Now I know it connects to the building at this end, so I'm going to draw and connect these two lines here. I'm going to draw and connect these two lines here. And then I'm going to actually, that's what the line I had to draw to. Okay, draw and connect. You'll notice our patio top sort of went over our jail building. It really isn't, but our perspective is looking like it is. Okay, we have to have something here. These can't be just thin boards, so we're going to give them a little bit of mass. And then on the side, we're going to have another perspective and tell you that the back of the board is probably there and probably there. Now I'm going to take that and draw it up. Okay, we need another one right here. And right here. Now, that's nice, but I would really like to have a little fence type thing so that my people don't fall off my road, my sidewalk. So I'm going to come down here and put a little fence structures so they don't fall off. Maybe one time they used to put horses on here and to tie their horses to it. Okay, that looks pretty good. Get rid of some of my extra lines here. Now we have to have a door to get in. But how are we going to find our door? We're going to look. We're going to say, okay, I want my door to be here and here. And I'm going to, because my awning is so wide, I'm not going to see the top of my door. Okay, we can put a little doorknob there. And maybe we want a window. And the window, because it's coming out of my awning, is just going to be here. And it's got a window on the other side. But once again, my awning is putting it so I can't see it. There's my window. Now my jail, that's another thing. Let's find the middle of this line that my jail was. And it's 1 inch, that's the middle. So my door is going to be this high maybe. I can take and just curve that like that. And my jail then will have jail cell windows. And maybe I've got a window over here for my sheriff to look out. Notice how the windows get smaller and smaller. Okay, you design the fix-it shop. Your fix-it shop should have doors and it should have windows. If you get really adventurous, you could put another awning in there. We could, on the window here, look to find, maybe we've got a center of it. How am I going to find the center of the window? I'm going to measure the top and the bottom. And this is 3/4 of an inch, so I know it's got to be 3/4 of an inch is 6/8. So if I go down to 3/8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That might work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, if you've got 16 little hash marks in here, you got to be careful with those because it's another measurement that you've got to take into consideration. I'm up and down, straight up and down. I put this line in, and there's my center of that window. Okay, I need a water tower, something to catch my rain. You know, the old-time towns, they would have their trains come by, and they would have a water tower there, and it would be open. Whatever caught the rain was in there. So I've got to see how big how tall I want this to be. Okay, so I'm drawing a line. Now, it's going to be set back here because maybe my railroad station is a long way away. And it's not going to be sitting right on the road. It's going to be sitting back from this road. So I can make it back here. Okay, it's going to have a box at the bottom of it. So I'm just using both sides to get this box. That's going to tell me where to put the legs of my water tower. So one leg is going to go here, one leg is going to go here, one there, and one here. Okay, this is going to look pretty good. So I'm going to put it up here like this. And I'm going to decide this is a long ways away. So I'll make a bet that my water tower top probably starts maybe right about here. And then comes over here. Okay, I like that. Here's my water tower top. I am going to erase this eventually so that I can actually put my legs here. Okay, the water tower has something there, and something there. We can fudge it a little bit by making an ellipse. Remember that circle on its side is called an ellipse? And my legs on my water tower have to come down. You decide if you want. I am even going to fudge my ellipse down here. Fudge means I'm not really doing any measurements, but I know it's a sort of a circular line. I can put a cap on it, but if I put a cap on it, I wouldn't be catching the rain. And you can name your town right here. You can name it Sandy City. You can know that eventually you'll have railroad tracks running along here, and maybe the railroad tracks are going to go out this way down to my ruler wasn't long enough. I'm going to go down to my vanishing point over here. Remember, the railroad tracks aren't going to be very big, very wide apart. They're going to be very close together. I missed that line underneath my water tower. Now, what direction are my track rungs going to run? They're going to be lined up with this one over here. And you can make large track. You can keep going like that. It's really easy to just say, oh, I know which direction I'm going now. But what you forget is that as it goes farther and farther away, these change the amount of space between them also. So take the time to measure. As it comes down here, it goes like that. Okay, let's look at our city and get rid of the lines that we don't like. We don't need this one. You see this fix-it chop? I think that I can use my vanishing point over here, and I can put the edge of this one, and I can make this a long building. I can't see anything behind this though, because this is in the way. So where my line would stop would be clear down here. I won't see anything but this little piece. That works. Now if we want, we can make a curb. Although they didn't have curbs back then. We can make a curb for our sidewalk though. And I made the curb by giving myself a straight line. Now, I'm going to get rid of my other lines down here. And I'm going to go to my vanishing point and connect that. There's my curb. Sort of looks like they've got to step up. All right, I kind of would like to see some sidewalk, boardwalk lines. So I'm going to make a boardwalk line, and I'm going to start it right here. We've got to go around all of those things that are on our boardwalk. I'm not going to do it all because this is something that you guys can do on your own. Now, I can't draw the boardwalk on this side because I have the wrong vanishing point to go by. So when it comes up time to, I'm going to finish drawing underneath my porch. So when it comes time to doing this one, you might have to shift your ruler over to the other side. And down here, you'll have to decide what you want to do. Do you want your boards to go this way? Do you want your boards to go that way? We could have one board go this way and one board go that way. The time you take on this will determine how good your city looks. Since this is an old-fashioned city, you could think about having a horse drawn in, and maybe you could have an old-fashioned car. How about a Model T Ford sitting here? It's your city to play with. I've given you 3 buildings with 2 different storefronts. You have to design the third storefront. We could have a tree. We don't want the tree to be bigger than our building or too much bigger. So I might have to come down here and say, okay, maybe my tree is from there to there. Draw my tree and know that the trunk has to stay pretty straight. Now, if I had drawn a great big tree, the perspective would have been off. If I had drawn a great big water tower back there, the perspective would have been off. I had to keep it all about the same size. But this is your city. You guys fix it up the way you think it needs to be. Next time we're going to do more on perspective, but I think we're going to try a house. So get a picture of your house. Go outside with your camera or your mother's phone or your phone and take a picture of the outside of your house. But don't stand right on top of it. Stand across the street away from it. Okay, we'll see you guys later.